In a previous video, I covered dip technique. In this video, I'll discuss the nuances of weighted dip technique and show some adjustments you can make to be able to lift more weight. Firstly, I'll explain why different techniques can be good for different things. If you're familiar with powerlifting, you may have seen some lifters perform the bench press with their back extremely arched. This was especially true prior to 2023, when the International Powerlifting Federation tightened their rules. Arching in the bench press does a couple of things. It changes the angle at the shoulder to make the movement slightly more like a decline press. It also elevates the chest, reducing the range of motion required to bring the bar to it. This can be great for competition as it allows athletes to lift the most weight. However, in spite of this, it's probably not as good as using less arch when it comes to building muscle. This is because challenging muscles at length is important for growth. When shortened reps like this are compared to full reps, they don't stimulate as much hypertrophy. If you're doing the bench press for muscle growth, keeping a flatter back with more range will be preferable. Even if you're a competitive powerlifter, you might use different techniques for different things. If you're going to arch a lot in competition, you should practice this in training. But as muscle mass is an important component of strength, you might supplement this with some deeper reps to stimulate more growth. The dip is similar. There are some adjustments you can make to reduce range and be able to lift more weight. However, unless you're trying to maximize the weight lifted, there's no need to change your technique. If you're using dips to build muscle mass and general pushing strength, you can simply add weight and keep your technique the same. While you might not be lifting as much as possible, you may be building more mass as you'll be challenging muscles at greater lengths. You'll also be working through more shoulder range, which can help with calisthenics skills such as the back lever. Now let's cover what counts as a dip and how to lift more weight. The general standard is to lower until the back of the shoulder is below the elbow, with the hips descending below the hands. By leaning further forward and rounding the spine and shoulders, we can achieve the required depth with less shoulder movement. By maintaining scapular protraction and depression during the descent, the pecs won't be stretched as much when we reach the depth standard. Another thing you'll notice is that while people tend to stay hollowed on the way down, they often arch on the way up. This is because by moving the shoulder blades, the body can stay in the same position despite straightening the arms slightly. Through this, you can put your muscles at stronger lengths and use the most efficient pattern to get back up. Some also extend their neck as they start the concentric phase and use this momentum to assist them. When comparing the technique outlined with a standard technique, you can see shoulder extension is reduced and there's less vertical displacement of the weight. This means less work or energy is required to hit the standards needed for a dip. In addition to these body adjustments, it helps to have stable bars and hug the weight between your legs to increase stability. A long chain is also useful to lower the center of mass. If possible, it helps to have the weight between your shins and feet rather than your thighs. In summary, if you have the specific goal of being able to dip more weight, you can implement the methods outlined in this video. If you're just trying to build more muscle or general strength for other skills, you don't have to change your technique when adding weight. You can also overload with other methods, such as using rings, or variations such as pause dips. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. For my comprehensive calisthenics programs, check out the routines in the Base Blocks Plus app.